Have you ever pondered the critical role helicopters play in disaster management? From their inception to their current use, these flying machines have become indispensable tools in responding to emergencies and saving lives. In the early 20th century, when helicopters were first introduced, they were seen as curious novelties. Igor Sikorsky, a Russian-American aviation pioneer, is credited with designing the world's first practical helicopter in the early 1930s. However, it wasn't until the 1940s that helicopters started to gain recognition as valuable tools for disaster response. During World War II, helicopters were used to rescue downed pilots and transport wounded soldiers from battlefields. This marked the beginning of their role in disaster management, albeit in a war setting. The ability to hover over a location, land in tight spaces, and quickly airlift individuals was a game-changer in the field of emergency response. Post-war, the civilian sector began to see the potential for helicopters in disaster relief. In the 1950s and 60s, helicopters started being used for medical evacuations in remote areas, firefighting, and search and rescue operations. They proved to be a swift and efficient means of reaching disaster-stricken areas, often inaccessible by other means. By the turn of the 21st century, helicopters had become a standard feature in disaster response worldwide. They were instrumental in the aftermath of major natural disasters such as Hurricane Katrina in 2005, the Haiti earthquake in 2010, and the Nepalese earthquake in 2015. Today, helicopters are used across a spectrum of disaster management activities. They are deployed for reconnaissance missions to assess the extent of damage, deliver supplies to areas cut off by disasters, and transport medical personnel and equipment to disaster zones. They also serve as aerial platforms for coordinating ground-based rescue efforts. In the face of climate change and the increasing frequency of natural disasters, the role of helicopters in disaster management has become even more significant. These machines are not just about speed and accessibility. They represent hope and a lifeline for those caught in the grip of calamities. So, to summarize, helicopters have come a long way from being mere novelties to vital tools in disaster management. Since their introduction in the early 20th century, they have evolved and adapted to fulfill a wide range of roles in disaster response, from rescuing downed pilots during World War II to delivering aid and coordinating rescue efforts in the aftermath of natural disasters. Helicopters have proved their worth time and again. The next time you spot a helicopter buzzing in the sky, take a moment to appreciate the heroic role these machines play on the disaster front line, often making the difference between life and death.